Hey y'all, my name's Jen. I'm a health and life coach on a mission to empower women, and this season I call the messy middle. We believe it's never too late to dream your wildest dreams and to build lives freed from the shoulds and have-tos. Here, we talk to ourselves like we do our girlfriends and our sisters and daughters. I will share stories and resources with lots of encouragement and a little bit of tough love to drive you toward action. In this podcast, we talk about everything: career, relationships, motherhood, and health. So grab your sneakers and let's go, because she's wild and freed. Hey y'all. Welcome back to another episode of She's Wild and Freed. Jen here, and I am excited to continue on this journey with you all with the 3 C's to Improve Your Life series. I am loving the process of getting curious with different areas in my life, and I hope that you found this series helpful so far too, and that you've shared the podcast with a girlfriend. Thank you to everyone who's shared it as we are growing this community together of wild and free dreamers. I don't know about y'all, but when I slowed down just a little bit and got curious, I started noticing things. I'm noticing emotions, sensations, and observing my actions more. It's been wild. Some things are very subtle, but other things, actions and feelings that I have are really big, and they've just been hiding in plain sight. Crazy what we miss on a daily basis because we are on autopilot with our habits and routines. Let me know what you are getting curious about in your life and the things you are noticing. I truly want to hear from you. Have you been curious about your daily routine, your eating habits, the way you act or react to certain people, the way you do things at work? Seriously, I want to hear from you. All right, ladies, let's get to this week's episode and the second C in the 3 C's to Improve Your Life series. This C is get consistent. I laugh at this as I named this episode Get Consistent With It, because I started thinking about, for some reason, Getting Jiggy With It by Will Smith. Yeah, my girls who grew up in the 90s know what I'm talking about. If you don't have the handout that goes with this series yet, and you want a copy to actively participate, press pause and email me at freedcoachingco@gmail.com. That's FREED coaching co @gmail, or click the link below in the show notes to fill out a brief Google form to get the handout. Also, if you missed last week's episode, pause this one and go back and listen so you can work through the 3 C's in order with our community. I designed this series to be a step-by-step process in improving your life and stepping into your dream life. Of course, if you're driving or out for a walk in this beautiful fall weather, no worries. You can always get the handout later. Just don't forget to come back and get it. I put the 3 C's series together with you in mind to help you cut through the crap and get into action toward a dream you have. Whether it's a physical goal, losing a certain amount of weight, or being able to lift a certain amount of weight, or run a 5K or half marathon, or a career goal, finally speaking up in those meetings, or maybe you're ready to ask for a promotion or raise and are creating steps to do so with confidence. Maybe you're ready for a career shift, or if it's a mindset goal, you want to clear out the clutter in your brain and find peace and harmony, and you want to get more focused on your mental well-being, or you're starting a meditation practice. Whatever your goal or dream is, these 3 C's are here to serve you one at a time So first, we'll do a little recap of the first C. Remember, to get the full experience, go back to last week's episode and get curious about your life. So the first C, as I just mentioned in the series, is get curious. Last week, we reviewed approaching certain areas of our lives with curiosity and playing a bit with it. Seeing where the ideas and information flowed. There's room in the handout for 3 areas of your life to get curious about, but we know that even starting with 1 is amazing. The second C in the series is consistency, or get consistent. And you'll notice on your handout that there's only 1 section for the second C, and that's intentional. The first section was a place to explore and deep dive into different areas. This second section is to pick one thing, one area, one action where you can get consistent. Using the areas in which we got curious about, pick one thing that you want to start with to create a consistent practice. If you're curious about a new eating plan, which is one of the areas I mentioned in the previous episode, try adding more whole foods to your plan. Or try having one day or one meal each day with no animal products. If you're curious about friendships, what's one thing you can do, one action you can take to consistently foster good and positive friendships? Whether you're focusing on a long-term relationship or starting fresh. For me, I'm going to stick with the area that I spoke about last week on getting up when my alarm goes off. So I'm going to focus on 3 days a week, not hitting snooze, and creating a space for me to just roll out of bed and get going with my day. My ultimate goal here is to create a habit where I don't have to think about it anymore. I just do it. Choose one thing, something simple that you can do consistently, and keep that promise to yourself every day or each week or 3 days a week, whatever cadence you want. This is how habits are formed. Simply put, when you do something consistently, like brush your teeth, or get in the car and buckle your seatbelt, or have a sweet treat at 2 p.m., these all become habits with consistent action and repetition. Remember when we talked about putting in our reps? This is it. At first, when we choose to make a change or do something differently, we have to think about it and act consciously. This is what makes forming a new habit so hard. Not only do we have to think about it, but we also have to act on it quickly, or the voice in our head will start talking us out of it. Just 5 more minutes and then I'll get up. Just one piece of Halloween candy won't hurt this time. It's kind of cold out. I'll go for a walk later. Any of those thoughts sound familiar? Those voices, or that voice, is so swift and very convincing. You can't pause. You can't delay. You can't let the voice swoop in, because it will overpower the promise we want to keep to ourselves. One habit I formed during COVID was taking my girl Koa for a walk every day after I finished work and shut down for the evening. Like many of us, I was working from home for the first time, and being in my house all day, looking at and speaking to screens was tough on my mental health. At first, I had to consciously grab the leash and get out there with her, but now it's a habit. My body naturally moves toward that action. I will say, Koa is a great accountability partner. She won't let me forget. I get up from my desk around 5-ish, and she starts dancing and getting super excited about our walk. And that's something for you to think about too. As you get going on this journey toward a wild and free life, finding someone who can hold you accountable or do the thing with you helps with consistency. If you know someone is relying on you to be there or do the thing, you're more likely to do it consistently. And there's nothing wrong with setting a goal with a buddy. We need each other, whether it's to cheer us on, push us when we get stuck, or be there when we stumble. If you don't have anyone in your life right now who can be that for you, think of me as your girlfriend who will encourage you each week and push you to keep going. I will consistently show up in this podcast every week, and I'm committed to sharing tips and resources for you to consistently show up for yourself and your dreams. Consistency is key. The best way to form a new habit, no matter what it is getting consistent. By putting in the reps, taking one step at a time, you are keeping a promise to your future self, your higher self. The cool thing about habits is they are hard to break. Really, once you have a habit, whether it's a quote-unquote good habit or a bad one, our unconscious mind just goes with it. When our brain doesn't have to consciously think about something, we just do it. I've been studying and reading up on habits and habit change for a while, and although it's also quite a challenge to create or form a new habit, once you've formed it, it's hard to break. So, don't you want to create the lasting habits that serve you and your highest self? Don't you want to be living your optimal life, doing the things that make you happy and feeling great doing them? Me too. And that's what this series is all about. Start with getting curious about the different areas of your life. Then get consistent with one thing. Once you've formed a good routine or habit with that one thing, you start to build momentum. You are keeping a promise to yourself and building confidence, which is a bonus C to this 3C series. It's confidence. With confidence, you're able to act on your dream life, and you have the proof that you can do that thing. You can have more. And your dream isn't just a dream, it's something you can build. On the handout, write out one thing you will do consistently, and then put the time frame you'll do it in. Once a day, twice a day, once a week, every other day, whatever cadence makes sense to you, and that's doable for inevitable success. I know. We have some high achievers listening in, and you want to do all the things and crush it every day. And girl, you can and you will. But with this exercise, a tip I want to share with you all is this. Make sure you are setting yourself up for inevitable success. I just love that term. Create a plan for your goal and get really clear on what your consistent action looks like. I'm definitely not trying to discourage you from setting this goal and crushing it, but think about what you got curious about last week. What areas of your life do you want to shift or change? Be sure that you are honest with yourself on this first thing that you will be consistent with. The easiest way to fall off track is setting a goal, missing it due to, whatever life comes up with, and then deciding that it wasn't really for me anyway, or I knew I couldn't do it, or I'll start over next week. And then it's 3 months later, and you're not doing the thing that you promised to yourself. Once we find our flow, and we are consistent with one thing, we can then build on the one thing with the next thing, and the next, and the next. And with consistency and confidence, your dream and goal will be well within reach. Again, this is your goal, your action. So do what feels right and feels great to you. I would love to hear from y'all. I think I've said that a couple of times here, but if you are not following me on social, please come find me at Jen Henry NC. That's like North Carolina, NC. And Jennifer.Henry.3557 on Facebook. Post a picture of you doing the thing and taking the action on social and tag me. Or email me if you're not really into posting on social at freedcoachingco@gmail.com. I want to hear from you and I want to share in your successes. This community means so much to me and we're doing this together. I can't wait to catch up with you next week on our third C in this series. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you feel free to take action toward building the life of your dreams. If something in this episode resonated with you, I would so appreciate it if you would text it to a girlfriend so she can hear the message as well. Until next time, stay wild.